असंगोऽहम् असंगोऽहम् पुनः पुनः सच्चिदानन्दरूपोऽहम् अहमेवाहमव्ययः नित्यशुद्धविमुक्तोऽहम् निराकारोऽहमव्ययः भूमानन्दस्वरूपोऽहम् अहमेवाहमव्ययः नित्योऽहम् निरवध्योऽहम् निराकारोऽहमच्युतः परमानन्दरूपो अहमेवाहमव्ययः शुद्धचैतन्यरूपोऽहम् आत्मा रामोऽहमेव च अखण्डानन्दरूपोऽहम् अहमेवाहमव्ययः प्रत्यक्षचैतन्यरूपोऽहम् शान्तोऽहम् प्रकृतेः परः शाश्वतानन्दरूपोऽहम् अहमेवाहमव्ययः तत्त्वातीतपरात्माहम् मध्यातीतः परशिवः मायातीतपरञ्ज्योतिः अहमेवाहमव्ययः नानारूपव्यतीतोऽहम् चिदाकारोऽहमच्युतः सुखरूपस्वरूपोऽहम् अहमेवाहमव्ययः माया तत्कार्यदेहादि मम नास्त्येव सर्वदा स्वप्रकाशैकरूपोऽहम् अहमेवाहमव्ययः गुणत्रयव्यतीतोऽहम् ब्रह्मादीनां च साक्ष्यहम् अनन्तानन्दरूपोऽहम् अहमेवाहमव्ययः अन्तर्ज्योतिस्वरूपोऽहम् कूटस्थः सर्वभूस्म्यहम् सर्वसाक्षिस्वरूपोऽहम् अहमेवाहमव्ययः द्वन्द्वादिसाक्षिरूपोऽहम् अचलोऽहम् सनातनः सर्वसाक्षि स्वरूपोऽहम् अहमेवाहमव्ययः प्रज्ञानघन एवाहम् विज्ञानघन एव च अकर्ताहम् अभोक्ताहम् अहमेवाहमव्ययः निराधारस्वरूपोऽहम् सर्वाधारोऽहमेव च आप्तकामस्वरूपोऽहम् अहमेवाहमव्ययः तापत्रयविनिर्मुक्तः देहत्रयविलक्षणः अवस्थात्रयसाक्ष्यस्मि अहमेवाहमव्ययः दृग्दृश्यौ द्वौ पदार्थौ स्तः परस्परविलक्षणौ दृग्ब्रह्मदृश्यं मायेति सर्ववेदान्तडिण्डिमः अहं साक्षीति यो विद्यात् विविच्यैवं पुनः पुनः स एव मुक्तः स विद्वान् इति वेदान्तडिण्डिमः घटकुड्यादिकं सर्वम् मृत्तिकामात्रमेव च तद्वद्ब्रह्म जगत्सर्वम् इति वेदान्तडिण्डिमः ब्रह्म सत्यं जगन्मिथ्या जीवो ब्रह्मैव नापरः अनेन वेद्यं सच्शास्त्रम् इति वेदान्तडिण्डिमः अन्तर्ज्योति बहिर्ज्योतिः प्रत्यग्ज्योतिः परात्परः ज्योतिज्योतिः स्वयं ज्योतिः आत्मज्योतिः शिवोऽस्म्यहम् ज्योतिज्योतिः स्वयं ज्योतिः आत्मज्योतिः शिवोऽस्म्यहम्।
सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः समस्तजनकल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरम् हरि ओम. It is a great fortune that we are going to take up our study of this book called Dhanyashtakam. The PDF form of this book is available in the PDF of the text is in the info of the video portion of this. If you go in here, you will be able to see the PDF portion, and you'll be able to download it, and you'll be able to follow with me with this textbook. This textbook is a composition of Adi Shankaracharya ji, and in the some people say 6th century, some people say 8th century, but the fact is the credit goes to Adi Shankaracharya ji, the champion of Advaita Vedanta, because of whom we in our Bharatvarsh are holding on to our entire great Vedic lore. This beautiful textbook is contributed to Shankaracharya ji, who revived Hinduism from its clutches of losing battle with the other religions, and the Vedic mata, the Vedic philosophy of non-dual truth he established. Shankaracharya ji is credited to so many works, namely the Bhashya that he has written on Prasthanatrayi. Absolute niti in absolute knowledge and the thought process in Advaita Vedanta is what he left behind in this Prasthanatrayi Bhashya, the Bhashya of Bhagavad Gita, the principal Upanishads, and the Brahma Sutras, which he has left behind for us. And upon completing that, he has written numerous stotrams, so many of them to uplift us, to remind us as daily parayana, daily remembrance as to what the purpose of life is. Bhaj Govindam, a very beautiful text, he enumerates in there through the idea of pratipaksha bhavana, allowing us to see the other side of the coin, the one side which we are exposed to because of our association with the senses and doped in the sense enjoyment. What is the other side? On the other side of sense enjoyment, he enumerates that, brings to our attention. It is very important that we learn to worship Govinda, learn to worship Govinda. That beautiful textbook talks about it. Coming to this textbook over here, Dhanyashtakam, Shankaracharya ji in this textbook talks about who is a dhanya, who is a blessed person. So, dhanya, the blessed, ashtakam, the 8 shlokas, which uh, talks about what are the blessings of our life. And if we don't have it, how should we cultivate them? He enumerates that in this beautiful, just very simple 8 verses. So we pick up our study on this. So, dhanya, what is blessings? There are so many blessings that we have. The very fact that we are able to open this computer and this day and age have a e-satsang like this is a privilege. Uh, this is one blessing. Technology allows us to utilize the very power of technology to betterment our own life. If we look at the BMI chart, the blessings of the body, when the body is healthy, that is a great blessing. And the reason why we are having this e-satsang is because there is a disease which has completely pervaded our planet, and so many people are held hostage to it. So many people have lost their battle in fighting with this disease. So the great blessing of the physical body is a sound body, a healthy body. Upon having this healthy body, a good family, if we are born into, that is a great blessing. Parents who guide us, who provide various things from childhood, who inculcate in us the importance of education, not just secular education, but the spiritual education, also arts, music, dance. These are great type of blessings bestowed upon us. That is a privilege. So that is a great blessing. And a child who seizes upon the opportunity provided by the parents upon making sure that these blessings flourish, that child who takes on to these is really a blessed one, because parents do provide, but there are some kids who have no interest in it. Then we lose out on such blessings. Some people, just because some kids, just because a parent has said, oh, okay, I will go ahead and do it, even if they don't like it, they learn to go through with it and eventually learn to like it, or they put their mind to it. That is a great blessing, where we entrust our well-being in somebody else's words, namely the words of the parents, the teachers, the shastra. So that is a great blessing that somebody uh, uh, embarks upon. Then we have blessings of education, going on further, acquiring a job, getting married, settling down, a marriage which works, a marriage which is truly bestowing upon the couple the blessings of Dampatya Jeevan, uh, children that arrive in the marriage, um, children also, they regard the family values, so on and so forth. So so many blessings are there at the level of the body. Then when we look at the blessings of mind, one may have education and whatnot, uh, but the true blessing of mind is prasada chitta, the mind which is just tranquil. uh, Bhagavan also say, prasade sarva dukkhanam hanirasyopajayate prasanna chetaso hyashu buddhi paryavatishtate. This mind which is very silent, the mind which is contemplative, the mind which is doped in devotion to Bhagavan, enjoys silence, enjoys peace. The one who cultivates peace, the one who distributes peace, that indeed is a blessed person. The blessings of buddhi, the sharpness of buddhi is there, tikshna buddhi is there. the sharp intellect. But a true blessing is a sukshma buddhi. And the sukshma buddhi is endowed with faith. Faith in God, faith in the life process, trust and faith that what is happening is indeed happening for my own well being. And if it is not, let me learn to work with the situations. Let me turn to prayers. Let me silently forbear the pinpricks of life, like Gurudev used to say. These are some of the blessings enumerated in our Shastras from the just a simple standpoint of body, mind, and intellect. Then a great blessing is when a person uh, goes towards Bhagavan through inquiry. That inquiry is also very important. The one who has looked at this world, the one who has tasted what the world has to offer, and then the person eventually finds out that I need something more from this world. I need something more. And such a person who embarks upon a unique journey in life in search of truth, that is really what Shankaracharya ji is talking about over here. And he also captures, Shankaracharya ji captures this growth of the student in the entire Vivek Chudamani. And towards the end, he says, Dhanyosmi Krutakrutyosmi. You know, I am blessed indeed, O teacher, Krutakrutyosmi. I have, I am fulfilled. Vimuktoham bhavanugrahat. I am completely freed because of your blessings and because of your instructions, what you have taught. I have reached the fulfillment of the right life, which is Nityananda Swarupoham Purnoham Tvadanugrahat. I have come to understand that Nityananda Swarupoham, I am of the nature of pure bliss. Purnoham, that I am complete. And this completeness is truly what we have to acquire in our life. We embark upon all journeys in our life to complete ourselves, to fulfill our own belly. We do so many natak, huh? So many things that we do, that for udara nimittam bahukruta vesha, Shankaracharya ji says, for the sake of the stomach, what all things that we do. So when that purnata is reached, there is a fulfillment on the inside, that I don't need to embark on any journey, but any journey that Bhagavan you bestow upon me, I'm willing to go through that journey, just so that I can share whatever joy that I have with others. That's all. And such a person is truly a blessed one who reaches that. And the journey starts in Vivek Chudamani when the student comes to the teacher and asks the teacher, Swamin Namaste, Nataloka Bandho, Karunya Sindho, Patito Bhavabdha, Mamuddar Atmiya Kataksha Drishtya, Rujvyati Karunya Sudhabi Vrushtya Bhagavan. He's referring to his own teacher that, oh Bhagavan, just look at the side glances. Swamin Namaste, Nataloka Bandhu, you are the very friend of all people who come and seek your grace and blessings. Karunya Sindhu, ocean of compassion. Patitam Bhavabdo, I've fallen into this world, Bhavasagar, in this ocean of samsar. Mamuddar Atmiya Kataksha Drishtya, by your side glances, lift me up from this. From there, the student starts, and at the end, he reaches Krutakrutyyoham, Dhanyosmi, Dhanyosmi. So, from that beginning to the end, the journey of a student, the journey of a spiritual student is what is captured in these simple 8 shlokas of Dhanyashtakam. So we will chant this Dhanyashtakam. I know you are not in front of me. You are in front of me through this medium of internet, and I cannot hear you. So I will just chant, and I will chant twice so that you can also chant. तज्ज्ञानं प्रशमकरं यदीन्द्रियाणां तज्ज्ञानं प्रशमकरं यदीन्द्रियाणां तज्ज्ञेयं यदुपनिषत्सु निश्चितार्थम् तज्ज्ञेयं यद् उपनिषत्सु निश्चितार्थम् ते धन्या भुवि परमार्थनिश्चितेहाः ते धन्या भुवि परमार्थनिश्चितेहाः शेषास्तु भ्रमनिलये परिभ्रमन्तः शेषास्तु भ्रमनिलये परिभ्रमन्तः तज्ज्ञा भुवि परमार्थनिश्चितेहाः शेषास्तु भ्रमनिलये परिभ्रमन्तः. So Shankaracharya ji starts over here with from the highest that tadjnanam prashamakaram yad indriyanam. So jnanam, that knowledge is that which brings upon cessation silence to all our senses. Our senses, prashamakaram, it quietens our senses and blesses our senses. Te dhanyaha, te tadneyam yad upanishadsu nishchitartham. And what is worthy of knowing, is yad upanishadsu nishchitartham. It is firmly declared by the Upanishads, and that alone is worth knowing. Other than that, nothing is worth knowing. And we will see that. Te dhanya iha bhuvi paramartha nishchitar parama artha nishtitehaha. Iha, over here in this world, te dhanyaha bhuvi, in this world itself, they alone are blessed who have ascertained firmly the absolute truth. Sheshastute, and the remaining ones, Brahmanilaye, in this entire world of delusion, the abode of delusion, Brahmanilaye, Paribhramantaha, they go around Punarapi Jananam, Punarapi Maranam, going round and round in the cycle of birth and death. They are, the remaining ones are just caught up in this entire Bhavasagar. So we will see over here that yad indriyanam prashamakaram tadeva jnanam. So knowledge is that which subdues our senses, it quietens our senses, it silences our senses. That is knowledge. So see, the worldly knowledge is, it is never enough. Even after acquiring Nobel Prize, whether it be in chemistry or biology or mathematics or, whichever field, there is still more work to be done. And the person feels, let me do more, let me acquire, let me do more research. It just goes on and on and on and on. That is the nature of this pluralistic world. We pick up a particular subject matter and we tread it and go in our undergraduate studies, our masters, our PhD, our postdoc, we can do all these things. And there is postdoc, we can keep on doing in this world, but it will never silence our senses. That is Not to say that we should not study. This worldly secular knowledge is important because it trains our buddhi. Without that spiritual knowledge, difficult to appreciate, unless if one has from childhood itself learned to use logic. So buddhi is very important. It has to acquire an ability to tread, ability to open the treasure of knowledge. So knowledge over here, what is talked about is atmagnya, knowledge of the self. And that knowledge of the self, when it is known, all knowing, all searching comes to an end, because the knower has known what is to be known, and that is me. I alone am to be known through this pluralistic world. Ultimately, whose projection is it? What is the identity of the individual who goes in search for a particular uh, line in studies? So, when that identity is known, that alone brings about all types of fulfillment. And this knowing the self, that knowledge is only available in Upanishads. Yad Upanishadsu nishchitartha, it is not available anywhere else. Nobody is going to bring to our own attention who we are. Nobody will reveal this except our own Sadguru, our own Guru, who opens up the treasure chest of Shastra to bring the darpan of Mahavakya, that thou art. The mirror of Mahavakya, I am that. Without this knowledge, we are no one. So then, how do we acquire this knowledge? There are so many different ways in which we acquire knowledge. One is pratyaksha praman, the seeing, direct perception. Then we have anuman, inference. And I see some smoke rising at the distance and I infer, oh, I don't see the fire, but there must be fire, because without fire, no smoke is generated. So that type of inference is there. Then arthapatti, logic is there. A equals B, B equals C. Therefore, A equals C, the transitive property, and all that we study in geometry and in algebra and arithmetic, all these things, the logic based mathematics where ideas are put together to for us to understand some postulates, some theorems. So that allows us to acquire knowledge. Anupalabdhi praman also is that the absence of information. I know that I don't know Russian. That is also knowledge. So anupalabdhi. Shabda praman is the last one, and the praman of the Shastra. Uh, Words. And through these different types of uh, praman, means of knowledge, we acquire knowledge. So that is how we acquire knowledge. Now over here, this way, the knowledge of the self born out of Vedas is what is referred to as tad jnanam prashamakaram yadindriyana, because in all different other types of knowledge in the secular world, there is still more to be known. In the secular world, the world of duality, it is anadi and Anant. It is beginningless and it is endless. And the knowledge of the pluralistic world will never converge. But the Vedas say that the knowledge of the self culminates, it converges. The pluralistic knowledge diverges. So much is there. Lives upon lives, if we spend in studying, we will never ever learn. We will never ever finish our learning of the pluralistic world. That's what I mean. One is Indra Bhagwan wanted to learn, and this Brahmaji looked, he went to his own guru, none other than Brahaspati. And Indra Bhagwan went to Brahaspati and said, how much is there to be known? So he said, your entire life, your Indra Padvi, that entire life, imagine if you sit down to study and you see this Mount Meru, you get a pinch of dust and you put it over here. In one life form of Indra Padvi, in one day of Brahmaji, 14 Indras come and go. That one life of Indra Bhagwan, he said, from the Mount Meru, one pinch is what you have studied. If one life of Indra Padvi you spend just studying, that much is out there in the ocean of knowledge. And whenever you study, you will always feel like, I know, feel so good. Let me learn more. Let me learn more. Let me learn more. So, at that time, Bhagavan Brihaspati said that instead of learning, which you should learn, what is dharma should be acquired, but utilize that dharma to go towards moksha. And if you don't cultivate this desire to go towards moksha, you will remain in the realm of pluralistic world, trying to learn more and more and more and more. So that Indra Bhagavan goes to learn about his own self. Brihaspati Bhagavan sits down and gives him the Atma Vidya. Now, this Atma Vidya, when it is acquired, it is our own lower self which goes in search for learning. But when our true self is known, and I have known my own self, it is that self because of which all else is known. When that is known, all else is known. Thus, it is said that when we go towards Atma Vidya, when we learn about the knowledge of the self, Indriyas reach their acme in terms of roaming around in the world of sense objects, because they all of a sudden feel they have tasted everything, they have known everything. And once a joy is drenched out of the pluralistic world, the world will not look fascinating. The fancy aspect of the objective reality will drop. And thus, over here it is said, Tad Jnanam Prashamakaram Yadindriyana. Knowledge is that which silences our senses. The one who knows about the self, that person, if an argument is going on, unnecessarily he won't poke his nose. If asked, he will give his opinion and he will leave it at that. Because he understands what more is to be discussed about this pluralistic world. It will go on. It will go on. It is an endless debate about this world. So, over here, knowledge is that which quietens our senses. In Vedanta, quietening our senses does not mean not having sense perception. The sense perception will continue, but there is no fascination in sense perception. There is no carrying away with the sense perception. Seeing will be there. Seeing, smelling, tasting, touching is there, but the mind will not hanker after what it is seeing, what it is hearing, what it is smelling, what it is tasting, because the mind has reached Shanti. It has known. It has understood who it is, and it doesn't need to chase anything. And that chasing aspect is what is dropped, and that is what is meant by prashamakaram yadindriyana. Over here, it is in Vedanta, the silence of the senses is not to give up the sense perception. The sense perception will continue. Perceive, but do not conceive. That is what is meant by yad gnita jnanam yad prashamakaram indriyanam. These senses will become quietened. Why? Because the jiva knows the identity. The jiva doesn't need to go anywhere, reach anywhere, acquire anything to attain itself, for it has attained itself. And the attainment is purnata. The attainment is not an acquisition of something in time and place. The attainment is knowing that I am complete. That is Jnanam. That is what is said over here. That Ragadvesha Viktestu Vishayan Indriyescharan Atmavashye Videyatma Prasadam Adhigachati. So Ragadvesha Viktestu Vishayan Indriyescharan. He doesn't have any likes and dislikes. Vishayan Indriyescharan. The senses are moving about in sense objects in the world of sense reality. The person engages in it, for they have to tend to their duty and their dharma. But there is no attachment to it, because there is no raga and dvesha. The understanding is, I am tending to dharma. The understanding is, I have to fulfill my duty. That's all. And there is no likes and dislikes in dharma. There is only understanding that as a jiva I have to fulfill this. That's all. But spiritually, I've come to know what my identity is. Thus, the Sthita Prajna Lakshan Bhagavan talks about as Raga Dvesha Vyuktestu Vishayan Indriyescharan Atmavashye, the one who has attained the self, Videyatma Prasadam Adhigachati. Mind is just absolutely tranquil. There is no fanciful imagination of any sense object. On the other side, that person dhyayato vishayan pumshaha sangasteshu pajayate sangat sanjayate kama kamat krodho bijayate krodhat bhavati sammoha sammohat smrti vibhrama smrti bhramshat buddhinasha buddhinasha pranashyati. For a person who has not known the self, huh, the chintanam is vishaya. Dhyayato vishayan pumsaha. Vishaya dhyanam is there. But for the knower of the self, it is yad upanishatsu nishchitarthaha. The firm declaration of Upanishads is what? That Gneyam, he has known that, and only Vichar is on the Upanishad Mahavakya. But for the one who does not have this knowledge, the thinking is always Vishaya, always some object, always trying to acquire something, achieve something, get something, pray for something, or pray to get rid of something. Even that is also a desire, that this object that I have, I don't want it, and the object can be a disease. So right now, people's prayers are, oh Bhagavan, may I be free of all the vyadis, adi vyadi upadi of the sharira, mana, and buddhi, all of them. Even that we pray to get rid of something. But for a man of wisdom, no. If it has come, let it be there. What does it hurt? My own knowledge about my own self. That understanding of man of wisdom is very, very beautiful. So, dhyayato vishayan pumsaha, for such a person who desire kamana, desire, and from desire, krodha, if it is not acquired, bas, anger, and it just goes on and on and on. And then eventually pranashyati. We have created so much karmic debt with so many people in our ignorance of this world, and then again and again we have to take birth, and it, the story of the jiva is never over. So this is what Bhagavan Krishna also says in chapter 2 of Bhagavad Gita. So the Gneyam, therefore, what is worthy of being knowing is Yad Upanishatsu Nishchita Arthaha. It fixes our identity. Arjuna's grief was that, and he was fixed. Te dhanyaha bhuvi paramartha nishchiteha. They alone are blessed who have acquired this. This is a great blessing, a great, great blessing for us to be free of all our mental hang-ups. It's a great blessing. Who does not want peace and joy and happiness in life? But that peace can never ever come without Vivek Shakti. Simple discrimination about what is right, what is wrong. And if it is wrong, I need to give that up. Otherwise, I won't grow. That's simple Vivek. And then Vairagya, you know, dispassion toward attachment, it doesn't happen that way. So initially, we have wealth, and there is nothing wrong with wealth. Cultivate wealth. But wealth, we have to understand that where I am headed. So I talked about the blessings of the body, the blessings of the mind, the blessings of the intellect. Each blessing, when we acquire it, we have to be grateful and go beyond it. Look at that blessing, accept the blessing, and tell ourselves that Charaiveti, Charaiveti, miles to go before I sleep, miles to go before I sleep. I have to go ahead in this marg of Adhyatma Vidya to acquire this knowledge. Te dhanyaha bhuvi paramartha nishchitarthaha. This parama artha is what is to be acquired. This absolute, this attainment of this absolute siddhi of Atmagnan, they alone are there. We have this chatur with the purusha, dharma, artha, kama, moksha. So, kamana for people is to acquire objects, artha. And on acquiring all this, uh, that so they will pour their entire dharma itself will be for the kamana to acquire artha, and a moksha is left behind. But for a right person, the kamana should be for dharma, and dharma should be for artha, and artha should be applied towards moksha. That wealth that we acquire, what is it for if it doesn't bless us? It has to go towards moksha. And only this viveka vairagya janita buddhi, systematically thought out, will be able to come out of it. So without vairagya, we cannot grow. So wealth, family life, children, you know, there is a time when we love them, we nurture them, we take care of them, but we have to bid farewell to them, give our blessings, and we cannot be worrying about them all the time. It is unbecoming of us because we have the journey of the jiva goes on. This is just one birth. We are parents of every birth, we have been parents of so many children. So this vairagya has to be born out of understanding. Viveka janita vairagya. Bless your child, but don't hold on to the child. And if that life of the child is going in a particular direction, let it go. Be a silent observer. The reason why I bring this up is a lot of people cannot do this. Then we've lost out on the blessings. Then we cannot call ourselves dhanya. So we have to live in this world, but we have to live in this world intelligently, and we have to move out of uh, whatever we have done the previous day, the next day. An understanding should be that I have to go towards the higher. That is te dhanyaha bhuvi paramartha nishchitartha. Every day the nishchay should be parama arthavastu. And if yesterday's things hold me down, it's not befitting us. Sheshastu te iha brahmanilaye paribhramantaha. And the remaining people will be just tied up over here. This is what happens. We acquire great education, great amount of bank balance, name, fame, power, position, title, property, 401k, everything we will have. And in the retirement years, difficult to come out of it. Bhagavan's blessings, everything was given, but we should prepare for our exit too. I always talk about it that before the occupancy certificate is given in the building, a fire marshal looks at the exit plan of the building. If we have this apartment of the body, what is our exit plan? These Golak, Puram Ekadasham Dwaram, Ajasya Avakra Chetasaha, this city of 11 gates, in their Atma lives, and inside, every one of these 11 apertures, you can imagine a red sign with exit is written. Which one the jiva will pick at the end of our life to leave the cage of the body? This we must contemplate upon this. And the ones who don't think about this, who don't contemplate upon all this, Brahmanilaye paribhramantaha. In this world of transmigration, They will go on, go on, go on, go on, won't be able to come out of it. So, a very simple 8 shlokas, but very profound. You can imagine Shankaracharya ji on his in 8th or 6th century, whichever it may be, going from South India to North India, from East India to West India, slowly just on foot going. The mind is just thinking and just jotting these things down. The mind is ever lost in the higher thought. Kaupinavanta khalu bhagyavantaha. The one who adorns this Kaupina, blessed indeed is this person who is Vedanta Vakyeshu Sadaramante, the one whose mind is always engaged in the play of the words of Vedanta. Such a person is the one who has a proper exit plan, who thinks about life and death while living. I need to kick out Lord Yama before he comes and captures. Death is for certain anybody who has taken birth. So, if a person has taken birth, death is for certain. And the one who dies, the birth is going to be there. But in jnanam, in knowledge, we can complete this entire transmigration. So much can be said. Um, so at the end, basically, know thyself. The Upanishad Mahavakyas, Prajnanam Brahma, this consciousness is Brahman. Tattvamasi, with a guru's Upadesh. So Lakshana Vakya is Prajnanam Brahma. The Upadesh of Guru, Upadesh Vakya is that thou art, you are that. And Anubhava Vakya is Aham Brahmasmi. It is the aphorism, the which says, declares my nature, and my nature is I am the true self. And Anusandhana Vakya is Ayamatma Brahma. Not only am I Brahman, but the whole world is Isha Vasyamidagam Jagat. Tena Tyaktena Bunjithaha Magrita Kasya Swittanam. So that person who comes to abide in the words of the Upanishads is know thyself. And so fulfillment alone is the fulfillment comes from knowing. Knowing self is fulfillment, and knowing that I am Purnoham, that alone is immortality. That alone is immortality. Other than that, Sheshastute Paribhramantaha. Iha Brahmanilaye Paribhramantaha. Continuing. Ado vijitya vishayan madamoharagat. Ado vijitya vishayan madamoharagat. Dveshadishatruganam ahrutya ahrutayogarajyaha. Dveshadishatruganamahrutayogarajyaha. Jnatva matam samanubhuya paratma vidya. Jnatva matam samanubhuya paratma vidya. Kanta sukham vanagruhe vicharanti dhanyaha. Kanta sukham vanagruhe vicharanti dhanyaha. Ado vijitya vishayan madamoharaga. Dveshadishatruganamahrutayogarajyaha. Jnatva matam samanubhuya paratma vidya. Kanta sukham vanagruhe vicharanti dhanyaha. Adau, in the beginning, vishayan, mada, moha, raga, dvesha adi, shatrugana vijitya. In the beginning itself, having conquered, vijitya, having conquered what? Vishayan, uh, sense objects, having subdued it, sense objects, mada, vishayan, sense objects, mada, arrogance, moha, delusion, rag, intense likes, dvesha, hatred, shatrugana, and a host of other enemies. Shatrugana, ahruta, all of these, ahruta, you conquered all these, and then on top of it, ahruta yogarajya, having acquired the kingship in the yogahood. Attaining this kingship, conquering the kingdom of yoga is what is said over here. Yoga Rajyaha, having captured this kingdom, Ahruta Yoga Rajyaha, this yoga, kingdom of yoga. Gnatva matam gnatva, matam, knowledge, gnatva, having known this knowledge, samyak anubhuya, and the anubhuti of this knowledge, having abidance in it, paramatma vidya, this knowledge of the self, anubhuya paratma vidya kanta sukham, which is like the joy of the wife in a for a householder living in a relationship with a spouse. In this way, the person has created a relationship like that of a beloved spouse, but that beloved spouse is Atma Vidya Kanta, the spouse of Atma Vidya. Vanagruhe, in the forest of the home itself, Vicharanti Dhanyaha. Blessed is that person who has cultivated in the forest of the house itself. And in that forest of the house, that Kanta Sukham, the joy of the relationship that one has with the consort, none other than this Atmavidya. Atmavidya is what is talked about. Vicharanti Dhanyaha is blessed. So that's why you see Shankaracharya ji and all the Shankaracharya jis, they cover their head, and they cover their head symbolically. They're covering this head, this buddhi, and it is the covering of the buddhi. And that covering of the buddhi, it is not an ordinary buddhi. They have married their buddhi. That's why people, sannyasis who take the sannyas diksha and mm, uh, give up all attachment to everything. A new name is given, and the last name is of Saraswati. So the buddhi is married to Saraswati. Chinmayananda Saraswati. So our last name is Saraswati, either Tirtha, Bharati, Saraswati, Vana, Parvata, all these different last names. The Dashanami Sannyasi, the 10 last names are the 10 names of Goddess Saraswati, because they've married this buddhi. And this buddhi is what makes us. The buddhi is what is given that shelter. They keep their head covered. And this is the reason and they hold on to nothing but just a staff, which is dharma, because the body has to hold on to something. The buddhi is covered, the mind has to hold on to something. If you don't give this mind anything to hold on to, it will fall for everything. So they hold on to dharma. So dharma is what is for the mind, and buddhi is what is covered with the ochre cloth. And in this way, blessed are those people, vicharanti, uh, they move about. So ado, who are those people? Ado, these blessed people, in the beginning itself, vishayan, sense objects, they have given up. You know, blessed is a child who from childhood shows love for higher values in living. These are not ordinary people. That's why the samskaras given at home, samskaras in Bal Vihar, it is very important, because if they don't hear about it, how are they going to know about it? So if we have heard about it, only then we will gravitate towards something which is righteous, noble. If we don't even know about it, how are we going to pick it? So in the beginning itself, blessed is that child who has conquered sense objects. Others are busy playing out in the field. He's quietly sitting and reading a book. Not an ordinary boy or a girl. The one who chooses to spend time with themselves, by themselves, trying to understand the world better, in hopes that they will understand. Contemplative kids from childhood itself, you can see a very placid nature. And we as adults also can cultivate this, uh, to give up that arrogance. Arrogance is born of proving our worth to someone. Why do I need to prove my worth to anyone? I'm the most important person to myself. And if I'm the most important person to myself, I offer myself to the seva of Bhagavan. That's all. So the one who understands doesn't need to prove anything to anyone. They've proved themselves that they are important, and they will not waste their time. They will not waste the precious life that they have. They will put it to good use for others. So, mada, moha, this delusion. Delusion comes for a person who is fascinated by the world of objective reality. If the fanciful imagination of the pluralistic world is there, definitely we will be deluded. And one thing will lead to another. It will be one delusion after second, after the third, after the fourth. We'll just keep on chasing some fanciful ideas. Raga dvesh adi shatru, the enemies called Madhu and Kaitap. They are the first two demons which are killed by Mahakali, in Devi Charitra. So, Madhu and Kaitap, the symbolic representation of Raga and Dvesha. I like this, I don't like that. I want this, I don't want that. This alone is right, this is wrong. How can you eat that? Food. Instead of understanding, yeah, somebody's habits are that way, they eat that. What to do? So, we make the best possible decision for ourselves based upon, you know the higher knowledge of the self. If we can terminate this likes and dislikes, raga and dvesha, out of our living, from clothing to eating to work life, family life, society life, and just simply heed to dharma, we will be able to grow. So, path to be followed to reach this goal is what is talked about over here in this shloka. And yoga rajya ahrutya. So, the establishment of yogahood is the treading of this path. So I'm going over time. So I will close over here and we will continue next week. We will continue from here. Sarve bhavantu sukhinah, sarve santu niramayah, sarve bhadrani pashyantu, ma kaschit dukkha bhag bhavet. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. If you have few minutes, just 1 minute, we will together pray for all who are affected by this coronavirus. I know some families who are going through some challenges, and this entire world is also our extended family. So everyone, we will chant this Triambakam Yajamahe. 3 times we will chant, followed by just 20 seconds of silence. Om Triambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushtivardhanam Uruvarukamiva Bandhanat Mrutyurmukshiyamamritaat. Om Triambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushtivardanam Uruvarukamiva Bandhanat Mrutyurmukshiyamamritaat. Om Triambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushtivardanam Uruvarukamiva Bandhanat Mrutyurmukshiyamamritaat. Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Namaste.